Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And it's time for some more Batmania. Today we're going to talk about Batman vs. Robin. We're going to watch this once again for the first time in a really long time, and for the first time since the first time we both watched this. I want to say you probably haven't gone back to this.
No.
So we did Son of Batman yesterday, and today we're doing its sequel, Batman vs. Robin, which we remember liking significantly more than the first one, or at least a little bit more.
I would say incrementally more.
Yeah. I like, you keep using that word. I like that, incrementally. And when we first, I don't know, when we saw it, I remember being more impressed with it than you for some reason. But it's been forever.
It is DeMatteis, like. Although finding out that the last was Joe R. Lansdale blew my mind.
Yeah.
But it is DeMatteis, like...
Because again, the writing is so wooden, and the voice acting is so stiff. And, like, you could have elevated that material with some better voice acting. And I don't even mean that everybody in that is a bad actor. They're just...
They should have been directed better.
Not bringing their A game. Yeah. It's sort of like... Just nobody really cared how they were voicing, or they were told to be as bored-like as possible.
It seems like that's the kind of performance that if you ask them about it, they don't remember doing it.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, there are great performances that end up like that for voice acting,
sure,
too.
Yeah.
The woman who does Amanda Waller on Justice League, they would say, like, every time she came in, they had to remind her who she was. And she's in a number of episodes.
I wonder if they had to, like, play her voice back. It was like, this is how you sound in this show. Do that again.
But
and then famously, John Delancey with
My
Little Pony.
Yep,
Forgot he went in and did a cue for that. Yeah. But anyway, so we're going to get into this. This is the closest thing we've had to an adaptation of Court of the Owls, which I remember that part of this not being great, but I guess it was sort of fun to see it animated.
This is the first one, yes. It's before anything else adapts it, because we keep doing them now, because they're in Gotham, they're in...
Oh, yes, of course, that's true. But, well, I just mean, like, direct-to-video animated movies. Like, none of those have done that.
No, but I think this is the first time we adapt them at all.
Yeah.
And they squander it.
I guarantee you, if we ever see another serious animated Batman show, that'll be a season arc, right?
Yep.
But it would be cool to see that done well in a season, I think. I would love... This is neither here nor there. We've been talking about what you would do bringing Batman back, and I think in one of these we talked about the idea of anthology seasons for big event things. I'd love to see a show that did No Man's Land for a season, Nightfall for a season, not in that order.
I would like Court of the Owls if you fix the ending. Don't make it all about Owlman, and don't have him kill the entire...
Oh, that's right, I forgot all about that.
And don't have him kill the entire court.
And the whole thing with, like, the vial of blood, and... You remember that whole thing?
No.
Anyway, well, let's go ahead and get into this. Today, so last time, we played some trivia. We felt like, just in case, we might want an extra activity for this one as well. So, we're gonna play a little bit of Uno while we watch this, which will be a real easy thing to do while we're watching this. We got Batman Uno here. There's Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy is a 5. So, we'll also tell you...
I'd rank her a little bit higher than that.
Well, I don't know if they're ranked really, but anyway, and obviously if Two-Face isn't a 2, then that's just a crying shame.
Yeah.
But
and Joker. Well, I guess there are Jokers in Uno.
There aren't Jokers in Uno. Now I have had Batman card sets that have Jokers as Jokers, but I've also had Batman card sets that have Jokers as other things, but also have Jokers, and I don't understand that. That blows my mind. The coolest Batman card set I have, because we're just talking about whatever Batman things come to our mind right now, I've shown you it's a poker set that looks like a regular deck of cards that the Joker from The Dark Knight has defaced.
Yeah.
And that's one of the coolest things, like novelty sets like that I own. I
that one's really cool.
If we ever finally play poker, which I've been threatening regular poker at my house, if we ever finally do that, we'll play with that set. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And I have homemade Star Trek poker chips. But anyway, moving right along, let's go ahead and get into it. Batman vs. Robin, if you want to watch this with us, which we encourage you to do, but hopefully we can make this as fun for you if you decide to just listen to this as we can, and I know a lot of people still do that. Get out your DVD or Blu-ray, however you want to watch it, get it at timestamp 0, get it past all the menus, and get ready to press play as soon as I say now. Eric, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Can you do this with this thing here?
Yeah. Everybody, please press play.
Everyone thought that was wooden. They're shocked that it's mechanical.
Yeah, it's like, wait, that does not look hydraulic. Everybody, please press play right now.
But it sounds so realistic. And we're immediately
Yeah.
gone from the classy one, but I mean that's
true. That one's cool.
But we're
too,
immediately
though.
gone from the one that we were complimenting last time.
Yeah, and it won't be long before we get away from that absurd DC
Thank
logo that I've always
God.
hated with the peel back D.
I had a-
You couldn't tell what in the world that was when it first came out. I hate it.
I had a thought the other day. So DC stands for Detective Comics.
Yes.
So their company name is
It's
Detective Comics.
But it's not. That's the weird thing about it is that they call it DC because that was an acronym for Detective Comics, but it doesn't stand for Detective Comics. It doesn't actually stand for anything. It's a nod to that before it's
Okay.
really weird.
Okay. This is Welcome to Ichabod. I wonder if we're doing any...
And you notice there aren't dots between them.
Yes.
Which drives me crazy because my autocorrect on my phone always puts the dots between them when I write DC.
I wonder if there's any Sleepy Hollow stuff in this.
Oh,
It
yeah,
says we're
sure.
in Ichabod. I wonder if there's going to be any Sleepy Hollow references in this. Probably not. Oh man, I got all these good cards.
If you start telling me who your people are, then I'll know what cards you have. If I also have them. 'Cause it's not like I have these memorized or anything.
Yeah, but I've got enough where it's repeated pictures. Well, I guess not repeated pictures, but like I've got 3 Batmans there, 3 different numbers. But I'm also not sure what one of them does. So who's going first?
Is this animation immediately a little bit better, or is it exactly the same?
I think it's about exactly the same.
It's about exactly the same.
Like it might be a slight improvement or slight deprovement.
Okay, so ever since you said Ichabod,
No, that looks a little bit better.
I thought there
Yeah.
were a couple shots that I thought looked a little bit better. Ever since you said Ichabod, I keep like racking my brain, going, Scarecrow is Dr. Jonathan Crane. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Jonathan Ichabod Crane. It'd be great if that was his middle name. Winslow Shot. I forgot that was mentioned.
Do you know Scarecrow's original origin? Why he becomes Scarecrow?
I don't remember anymore.
So he worked as a teacher, and all the other teachers made fun of him because he spent all of his money on books instead of clothes, and so he looked like a scarecrow because he was skinny and lanky, and all his clothes
Oh,
were
that's
falling
great.
apart.
That's ridiculous.
Also,
I love old villain origins.
he doesn't have fear toxin. He has a whole thing about how psychologically people are afraid of guns, so he just puts guns in people's faces. He's like, you're scared of me, right? Okay, so it has been ages since I played Uno. I just have to play the same color card. Yes?
Blue or a 7.
Yes, that's...
Blue or a 7.
That's a 0, which I didn't even know existed.
Yeah. Well, that's a special kind of creepy. So, skip you again, Batman 6.
So this is a guy we've done a number of times in recent memory, right?
Dollmaker?
Dollmaker.
Have we?
He's in Arrow. He's in
Oh,
Gotham,
that's true,
he's in
yeah.
this. He's someone that I never heard of before that all of a sudden...
I keep forgetting those are all the same people, yeah.
I don't know if he predates
We've
the
done
first
so many
arc.
of these C and D-list characters in the Arrowverse. And then it gets weird because there's a lot of those villains that we did in the Arrowverse, but then also in Supergirl. Like, and completely differently.
Does Royal Flush Gang show up in Supergirl?
I don't think so.
They should.
And
they would
then
do that show.
we'll do, like you said with Dollmaker, like then we'll do something that was in Arrow that we'll then put in Gotham. Did Gotham do a Royal Flush Gang, or am I maybe they haven't, because Arrow did it like second or third episode. It was real
know
early.
they did the Red Hood Gang.
Yeah.
I can't remember if they did.
I did not even check to make sure this was on camera. That was lucky. I think people actually can see that if they care to.
That's good. We still got the dumb chin.
Uno. Bat Uno.
Okay, so I'm going to play a card, but I don't know what it does. It's Joker's 3?
Well, at least at least he is... Oh, I don't know what that does.
I assume
either.
it just lets me pick the color,
It's just
right?
I guess it's just a Joker wildcard?
It's I go again and pick the color, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are alternative rules for this Batman set, but we're not going to worry about them.
Do I play another card, or do I pick the color and play another card, or do I just pick the color and you have to play off of that?
I think when it's wild, you just call it color.
Okay, alright, so it's blue.
Yeah, if you're actually playing for points, you want to get wilds out faster because they're worth more. They're worth more points. And you're trying to get all the points out of your hand.
Okay.
So wilds are 50.
Alright, so blue.
That's why Uno, when you're not keeping score, is not that interesting. But we're not going to keep score because it's just a random thing to do to show off these Batman cards. Look, it's Bane! Bane's a wild card. I will call green.
I got Killer Croc.
And Uno. And if you don't say Uno, you have to draw a card. Or is it 2 cards? I forget.
I think it's a card.
And I win.
Well, darn.
Yeah, so there you go.
Who knew Captain Logan was an expert
I'm an expert Uno player, yeah. Here, we'll just keep score by numbers. So it's 1-0, sir. And I'll do some shuffling here. Anyway, so this movie. So I was gonna say a minute ago. At least they have a little bit more personality. There's some banter at the beginning of this. I don't know how much I love that payoff. Where he's like the appropriate response would be, or an alternate response would be "Thank you, Robin," and then later Batman says an alternate response would be "Thank you, Batman." I don't know how much I love that, but it's just delivery more than anything. Like, those lines could be fun if there's a little bit more energy to this, but I'm just saying that based on the last movie. Like maybe it livens itself up as it goes along a little bit. This opening sequence immediately feels a little bit better paced to me.
And it's not a big wham bang action scene. Like, this feels like it has some thematic and character reasons for being here, as opposed to just we're running around fighting bad guys. Like, I'm sure this won't come up in the plot.
Dollmaker, because he's a twisted take on something that's meant for children, and Damian Wayne is a child, but like a twisted child,
and has lost his innocence.
He lost his innocence, yeah.
But also, we're establishing.
But there's some moodiness to it.
He just rips his heart out.
Wow. Eat your heart out.
It's the cleanest heart I've ever seen.
Don't doubt your instincts.
That's impressive. He didn't have to like carve or not. He just got it.
I guess there's some inherent thematic stuff, or interesting thematic stuff you could do with Damian going up against the Court of the Owls because of the secret society thing. That they I think. Well, okay. So they raise their own kids in that, like he could be a parallel for Talons. Really easily, and I don't know if this movie does that because I don't remember what happens in this.
No, the Talons are, remember, they're resurrected.
Oh, that's right.
Because you've got the thing in your tooth that marks you for you'll be a Talon after you die. They'll bring you back.
Okay, so maybe there's not an inherent.
I think they change it in this though, because I don't think that's the Talon backstory in this.
Okay.
That's convenient.
I can't remember how much of the background with Bruce Wayne and the Court of the Owls is in this, where like he thought there was a secret society and he went looking for them before he was Batman and he couldn't find them, but it turned out to be true. Is any of that in this? Do you remember?
I don't think it is.
I remember something about that being missing and feeling like the movie was less interesting without it. Again, not that you have to adapt it exactly the same, but I just. They didn't feel as all-encompassing and larger than life as they do in the comics. It is obviously a big retroactive thing, but like I like all of the lineage stuff in the comics with Court of the Owls and the legacy, I should say, of Gotham and the families. Yeah. And this secret society running everything for so long, and I think that's really that idea is interesting with Batman, who doesn't really have any control in the city he's trying to help fix.
Yeah,
and also just having a reason. I mean, I know you always say that Court of the Owls was the thing that was kind of ripped off from Morrison, but just the idea that there is something specific and tangible that separates Gotham from other cities and makes it as corrupt as it is, than just generically it's corrupted and there's a lot of crime.
Well, and it's also
making that something literal.
It's also
is not a bad idea.
The Black Glove is very global. What Court of the Owls is kind of supposed to be, as
it's a cult.
Well, it's not just that. It's that there is something in Gotham that Batman didn't know about.
Yeah.
He knows every inch of that city. He thinks he knows everything about Gotham.
And he thinks of it as his city, and it never has been.
Yes.
And he doesn't have the control he thought he did.
Also, apparently
Let's start with Killer Croc!
Yes. Let's do Killer Croc.
Oh, man! Okay, here's the Joker.
Apparently, J.M. DeMatteis has been pitching them to do Going Sane, which is a Joker story he wrote.
I would love that. Because I like that more than anybody. Or at least I remember really liking that. I've had arguments with people about it, but it's been a long time. Can we review that at some point? I would.
Yeah,
like to,
absolutely.
I've
always wanted to go to it because I've never read it. I just know that
I like the art in that a lot.
That his name is Joseph Kerr.
Joseph
and
Kerr.
I thought that was dumb.
Well, it comes up after that a lot. We've gone back to Joe Kerr lots of times since then. But yeah, that is the first place that comes that happens. Oh man, I would love that.
Yeah, and I've never read it, or if I did read it, I was
and
really
I think
young.
that art style would translate really well to animation. Well, yeah, it's a little absurd. I mean, it's that era.
Mm.
I think you have enough. You have enough historical perspective to appreciate it from its era.
Probably
at
more
this
now
point
than I
now.
did when I was 15.
I don't think it's any sillier than some of the stuff that's in the Englehart stuff that we read.
Sure. Although it's not that era, it's mid-90s. It's like
I
95.
thought it was like mid to late 80s, but not like Miller.
No, because he...
Okay, fair enough.
Because the lineage of it is he pitches that story...
It probably just read like that, and I assumed that was when it came out, yeah.
He pitches that story, they pass on it, and he goes and does that story as Craven's Last Time.
Oh, you told me about that, which you've never read.
Yes, no, I've never read that.
And you should, it's wonderful. I reviewed that with Dan.
I'm going to lose this round, too.
Well, we're at a stalemate right now.
Okay. Alright, well then... Oh.
And you know, if you have the draw and you have something, you go ahead and play, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Then I'm going to skip you. Oh, no, I guess I should have done that before. I wasn't thinking. But I'll skip you, and then I'll draw it, because I don't have anything else.
Okay, then I'll skip you, and then I'll skip you, and then I'll draw two.
Good lord. I thought Draw True made me draw two.
Oh, yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So give me those, even though you know what they
you
are.
take the... No, I didn't look
I've
at
totally lost.
And Uno, and then I'm done.
Well, that was fun while it lasted.
It was, wasn't it? 2-0.
That looks way too low tech for Batman in the modern day.
Yeah, that should have a lot more going on.
Especially Snyder.
That little
Batman.
phone. That little comma phone.
And this is such a
Hyphen
disappointment because as much as I don't like the ending of Court of the Owls, all that build-up is great. It's perfect to be adapted into a creepy, shadowy animated film. It's so unfortunate that we were like, well, we're going to keep doing the Morrison thing, but we're going to use Court of Owls, and we're going to water it all down.
And it's all going to look like Son of Batman and Justice League War.
Yeah.
So I said apostrophe phone a minute ago. I should explain that. I'm working on Nightfall reviews for Batman Year, and an amusing thing in that is every time someone says phone without saying telephone, it's a shortened form of telephone. It's early enough that they feel the need to put, because obviously before we had cell phones everywhere. This is '93. We have it always says apostrophe phone, and I think that is hilarious. I don't know if it's in just Dixon's books or if it's in other people's, but consistently every time I've seen phone in that, I've seen an apostrophe before the phone.
So you're not as much of a superhero costume fashionista as I am.
No, but I have complained about costumes in this.
How do you feel about Damian's hood? The fact that he has a hood on his Robin costume.
I'm so used to it. It's not a thing I really think about a lot anymore. I think when I first saw it, I didn't understand the point of it. I didn't really care for it.
I like that. I think it feels like individualistic.
That's cool. I think it's weird to have. I just acted like I had no opinion. Here's my opinion. It would be weird to have a Robin without a cape, but I think it's a little bit weird to have a hood that goes over a cape. When it's down, it's weird. When it's up, it's fine.
Oh, yes, sure.
That you have a cape that's already dangling, and then you have a hood that's over a cape that's dangling.
There's lots of capes that have hoods, though.
Are there?
I think that's
I mean, I know Spoiler does. Like, there's.
Oh, do you mean just specifically superheroes? Because there's, like, I think, like in medieval times, we have lots of capes that have hoods. I think. I might be wrong.
I mean, I don't. This is a thing I don't know anything about, obviously.
I think, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just.
It's just not a thing I've seen a lot with superhero costumes, and so. But I guess Spoiler has it. But then Spoiler doesn't ever take it off.
Just put it down though. This one doesn't have. So here's what doesn't make sense about.
Does he do that in the comics though? Does he take it down very often?
I think it's down most of the time.
Oh, okay.
I bet you can find artists who don't even draw it as being there. What's weird is his cape does have the yellow inline.
Sorry. Is this comic book where you said you don't know anything about Dollmaker, so you're not the person to ask? But I didn't know he was related to Toyman.
I didn't either. I know Dollmaker is in the first issue of Detective Comics New 52, and that's the beginning and ending of my knowledge of Dollmaker.
Okay, interesting. Real quick, let me tack this on.
Because he's the one that cuts Joker's face off.
I love the Toyman in Supergirl. He's super creepy.
Oh, really?
They do a wonderful job with him, yeah. Which is great because you have Win in that show, who is Windshot, who's his son, and it's great that we gave him a great scary dad, and that he wasn't a throwaway, like because that defines his character so much. So even if this movie is better than the last, it sucks that we start with this foundation that is, again, really bland and generic, and it feels like Batman just makes him Robin right away because he's supposed to be Robin, not for any real reason. And so now we're kind of stuck with a Batman who seems like an idiot. So, like, when he feels like he's going to have to go up against Robin because he's too extreme, you're like, well, you idiot, you shouldn't have made him Robin in the first place.
Yeah.
That was a bad idea. Maybe we should have done all of this, this training stuff with Nightwing or Batman before we let him put that suit on and go out and fight crime. Especially because, as you said last video, he goes out and almost kills someone, and then the next thing Batman does is put him in a costume.
Yep.
It seems like a bad idea. Well, I'm going to be a jerk and start with draw 4.
Wow.
Green.
Oh, is that what the Joker thing was? Was I pick a color and you were supposed to draw 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I won that round. That is what that is. Oh yeah, and you know what? These have always had draw 3s. I wasn't even thinking.
Yeah,
about that.
I wasn't. It's been so.
And there are wild cards that don't have draws.
Yeah.
That's what threw me.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip you. And I'm gonna skip you again.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna play Catwoman.
Well then. Well, this sucks. I guess I'm gonna skip you and then draw, and then you draw 3.
What's the color?
Yellow.
It's also weird to get to Damian without the other 2 Robins in between.
That's what. Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying before.
Like, I know that would clutter the story, but you said green.
Well, that's why I said we needed some movies before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, green. Skip you. Hall of Owls. But yeah, this is a thing that's... Again, I said this for the last movie, kind of wishing there was a movie before it that would set up Damian. I almost wish we had set up something about this last movie so that we feel like we were peeling the curtain back, right? We're like... Maybe there's something a little bit larger going. I don't know, like maybe like a war with the League of Assassins and them or something. Just something where this mystery is a bigger deal.
So we do the kids thing here.
Yeah, but I don't think he goes and investigates the way he does in the comics.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, it seems like they're just playing it like a like an urban legend thing. Well, I mean, it is an urban legend thing, but they're like a fairy tale thing.
Yeah.
And I think like he goes and he reads up on it like it's a legend, but he starts thinking it's real. It's been a while since I've read Court of Owls.
Yeah.
Here you go. I just drew. I think
No, and I threw down the Catwoman.
Did I not just draw? I thought I drew. Maybe I didn't.
I threw down like right after you.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you draw 3, and we're gonna make it red. This looks pretty good.
You draw 4, and then we're gonna make it yellow. Oh, he sees an owl when his parents get murdered.
That's really
That's not in the book. Again, I'm not saying it's bad because of that, but I don't think that's in the book, is it?
so. Maybe that's what sets him off on
Surely-
the whole tangent.
surely
but
not.
In the book, it doesn't seem like... I don't remember him thinking that the owls were involved in his parents' murder. I'm going to skip you.
No, again, because... Or was it that he thought they were and then he decided they weren't? Because I forget what makes him investigate them when he's younger.
Yeah.
But he starts doing that like when he's a kid, like shortly after they're murdered, right?
Yeah.
It might have been nice to go back and reread that before this. I just didn't give it. But I was gonna make this point earlier when you were talking about how we could have made like a really creepy, moody movie out of this. When this was announced, I immediately went, "This is not the material I want. I want in this aesthetic because I want this to get kind of trippy." Given that historic issue where you have to turn the pages around and the book around, I mean, obviously you're not going to translate that to screen in any way. But like, if memory serves, we do the maze in this, but we don't do anything cool with it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, so he's doing research, but he thinks they killed his parents. I don't remember that in the book. I don't need him narrating in a kid voice. Like, why are we doing?
Because he's telling it backwards. Like, this is him telling someone about this, or it's written in a journal or something.
Why are we doing? Yeah, why are we doing everything we can to have inexperienced child actors voicing as often as humanly possible?
Yeah.
That strikes me as a mistake.
I concur.
I concur wholeheartedly. Indeed.
Yes.
Yes. See, like, my eyes are watering up. Oh, I hate that. Yeah, this, animation-wise, this is a marked improvement from last
No,
movie,
it really is. Watch them back to back.
Blue.
Is that,
Uno!
Say Uno, you didn't say it!
Uno!
I gotta draw.
That's a special kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Are they zombie-ish
In the book?
in the book?
I don't know if we ever see one without a mask. Skip you. Skip you. Draw.
Yeah, I mean, you get the Talon from the book Talon, who's not a zombie guy, but
Who I think is who this is supposed to be.
bams.
Wow.
3.
Have you ever thought about competing since you're a genius? You're an Uno prodigy.
It's all luck, friend. Those batarangs are really long.
Yeah. Well, because they're designed to be able to fight.
Oh,
like
that's
this.
cool, actually. I like that a lot.
Yeah, given how often Batman has to deal with swords, that makes sense.
Also a marked improvement in the choreography department. This action is way more thrilling than anything we saw last movie. This feels more like something they wanted to make. It's almost like the material they went with and also that might be like a trial run kind of thing where they just aren't really sure what they're
Well, and they might have been
doing with
excited
Batman.
to get to be the first people to do Court of Owls.
Yeah, sure. But this movie might have been stiffer if they hadn't made one first. Like, they might just be improving. Because keep in mind, these are not all the same people that were making movies before. This is some of the first material they're trying. I mean, yeah, they had Justice League, and I don't know if exactly all the same people were doing Flashpoint, or if that was kind of a changeover, but...
I know most people aren't going to think of this. That was an expensive fall.
That's right.
That dinosaur.
Yeah. Somebody's going to have to put that back together.
Well, it's probably broken. Like, they probably can't put it back together.
Yeah, probably not entirely. It's going to be hard to restore that.
Well, that's unfortunate. Batman would have been dead. If you didn't become weird psychopathic.
Did you know that we have there is a Tyrannosaurus skeleton that is like 90% complete, and the most completed skeleton we had before that was like 40, 45.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Because whenever you go to the museum when I was a kid, like they had a full. I'm sure they weren't real bones, but like they had a full T-Rex. Like we know what one looks like.
Yeah. Well, and that's probably because of the bones we have from other skeletons that don't match it. But as far as a single complete, like we know it was one dinosaur.
Oh, I see what you mean. So we might have enough bones to make a T-Rex, but not all from the same T-Rex.
To make sure that we know for sure it's all the same animal.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Also, didn't it have the wrong head for a while? Wasn't that a thing?
That is a thing. You and I have talked about this, but we've not talked about it on camera. And this Mania, so we can bring up anything we want to. That drives me crazy in Friends, where everyone acts like dinosaurs are the most boring thing to talk about. Am I too much of a nerd to have a show called Geeks?
No, everyone
it
loves.
Bothers me.
Everyone loves dinosaurs.
The fact I just threw out, I can't think of anybody that would like yawn and be like that I know that would be like, oh, why are you bringing that up? Like that's interesting.
Yeah, no. Now to be fair, sometimes he is really boring when talking about it,
right?
And sometimes he can just boring. The second he brings up dinosaurs, like it's like no.
And if it was just a Ross thing where it's like, oh no, he's gonna start going on a fact,
At the very least, Joey would be interested.
Throwing up facts. Yeah, and he's supposed to be the dumb one.
That was.
But he should enjoy it at least on like on a childlike level.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes he's talking about cool facts.
Anyway, that irritates me.
Yep.
That looks like Leslie Tompkins.
It does.
That's not Leslie Tompkins, is it?
I don't think so. Because she's with a guy. Leslie Tompkins isn't traditionally with a guy.
Well, unless it's like a patient or something.
And sometimes it's Alfred. Yeah, but
she could like be right outside of a clinic. Or...
Yeah, I guess so. Ew. It's kind of a bummer.
I'm gonna throw one of my like bat lances because now the batarangs, they don't feel like batarangs anymore. They feel like these big like hand weapons. Like, I think that's cool. But they should have like different sizes of them.
I don't want to be mean. It's kind of a bummer that J.M. DeMatteis is kind of slumming at doing this. And like in comics, like
has he not done comics in a while?
He only works with Keith Giffen. So like they did the Justice League 3000. They did. They're doing Scooby Doo. It's a bummer because he was a big name in the 90s.
Oh, is he the guy doing Apocalypse?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's one of the two guys, and they go all the way back to.
You've been threatening to review that for a couple months now.
Yeah, they go all the way back to Justice League International. That's where those two worked together the first time, and whenever they work together, it's always more comedic. But and I like both of those guys separately. I like Keith Giffen as well.
It feels like we found the Talons. We found the Court of the Owls a little too easily, a little too quick.
Yeah.
Like in the comics, I felt like Snyder did a really good job of justifying.
You, the reader, don't know if they're real or not.
Yeah, and I think he did a really good job of justifying like why we've never seen them in public, and it makes Batman feel like a really good detective. And in this, it just seems like it's a Court of the Owls movie, so they popped up and they're in public now, even though they're supposed to be in the background.
It's unfortunate that people's first introduction to Court of the Owls is things like this.
Yeah, I think so
because you're never going to get to play that really. I don't think.
No, and if they ever go read the comics, it's not going to have the same impact on them because they've already seen it.
Yeah.
And like you could make the argument, well, it wouldn't have the same impact even if it was done effectively. But like, if it's not done effectively, you'd want to get it in the purest way possible. The designs are fine; they look good.
Draw 3 blue.
Well then, I don't know if I'll draw 3 blue cards. I mean,
and then I'll skip you.
Anything is possible.
And then I'll skip you.
Oh my god!
And then it's your turn.
You had quite a run there.
Yeah.
Skip you, reverse you, 7, 1.
Well, you can't play on top of the 7.
Oh yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just throwing things.
Well, I mean, the reverse would make it your turn again, then you can play 7.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I was just going back and making sure. Yeah. Sorry, you go. Thought we were playing pool for a minute. I was just sinking balls.
All right.
I'm dumb. I can't multitask, you guys. So, our size his weapon of choice?
In the comics?
In the comics?
I don't think so.
Is that a thing?
I don't think so. I think he's got distinct knives.
See, he's the hothead, so he's got to have the Raphael weapons.
Also, This does not do justice to Greg Capullo's design for Talon. He was
Draw
so
3.
cool when he showed up.
Red. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's contradicting what I said a minute ago. I thought the design looked fine, but I don't...
Well, I don't think it does justice.
Okay. Look how tall he is. I mean, I guess Robin's like 10. So.
You said red, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to skip you.
Okay.
And then you're
I picked the wrong
and then
color,
you're going to draw
friends.
2.
You draw 2.
I don't want to draw 2.
I don't care. It's the rules.
All right, well, maybe you're going to draw 2.
Well, Poison Ivy.
Well, maybe
Wow.
you're going to draw 4. And it's going to be yellow.
Okay, so the vocal timbre for Bruce Wayne's voice sounds pretty good. It sounds like what I might imagine Bruce Wayne would sound like. But the delivery, much of the time, is awful, whether he's doing a Batman voice or a Bruce Wayne voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know how to describe it. It's just it doesn't sound natural at all.
And he's someone, right? I'm gonna look this up real quick.
forget.
Because he's Jason O'Mara, and I feel like that's someone from
Is
like
it?
something.
What color did you call?
What do I call yellow?
Yellow. Okay. So we are how far in? We are 30 minutes into an hour and 15-minute movie or so.
Mm-hmm.
No, I guess that's all right. I guess we're about to get to what is. I guess I would argue weirdly in A Court of the Owls thing that your first act plot point is they're starting to get on the outs, right?
Yeah. Since they don't start exactly.
It's weird that discovering the court is not your first act plot point. I might have used more of my first act to like go looking for them and still wonder if they actually exist, and then find some way to build an animosity between them. But I guess using the court to be the impetus for the animosity would be the only reason to bring them in.
Yeah. But we need a more stable starting point.
So is he kind of nobody?
He's the only. No, he's kind of nobody. The only thing he was in is he's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as Jeffrey Mace.
Oh, okay.
Jeffrey Mace. Who's somebody.
I'm not sure why they went with him.
Is it my turn or your turn?
It's your turn.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm just not sure what they thought was special about that voice.
Well, my guess would be that you would pick him because he's someone that you can easily get multiple times.
Well, sure, but I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people with an okay Batman voice that you could do that with. Like, why that voice?
Draw 3
What?
green.
I'm not gonna win this one. Wow. This is a rough hand.
How's it feel? Be on the other side of this.
It'll just be a sweeter comeback, that's all.
Uno trouncing.
If you get stuck and I ever get to 0, I'm gonna totally forget to call it because I've got like 20 cards in my hand right now. And have to draw. Skip you. And draw. Okay. Yeah, this Gotham is just unremarkable.
Yep. Oh, that card looks really bad.
And I think that's a big mistake. And I mean, like, yeah, I know what Gotham looked like last movie.
Mm.
I feel like maybe if the Dark Knight movies can get away with it, this could too. It
should be more
I don't
Victorian.
like that, but it should be more Victorian. With Court of the Owls there,
Yeah.
and with as far back as they're supposed to go.
Yep.
The only other way to play that, this was not comic book, it would be different. The only other way to play that would be to make it more futuristic and to say that that's because of them. That's not what I would do with it. I'm just saying, like, there's maybe other ways to play that.
If I'm on the production staff for this, because I know these guys.
How am I still drawing cards?
I know that these.
Put me out of my misery so I don't have to pull all these cards anymore.
That this is J.M. DeMatteis' first script for them, but how do you not just at this point have a note? Please don't put any kind of car chase in this movie. We cannot do it well.
And also, it's just so typical. We always do car chases in these movies. This would be...
It's not even the Batmobile.
I'm saying that. Was there one last movie?
I don't know.
Maybe there wasn't a car chase last movie. But, like, I don't know, a Court of the Owls thing, this is, like, maybe the last place I would put a car chase. And now, coming up with excuses to have Bruce Wayne have to be Bruce Wayne and not be Batman, given that we're trying to connect this to his origin and make it more about Bruce Wayne the man than Batman, I mean, I get what they're doing.
Sure.
I'm still drawing cards.
It's okay, I'm kind of stuck too.
I can't
My
believe...
hand's filled up too.
I want to talk to some animators and find out why we can't do in 2D animation car chases and cars in general that aren't computer generated. Why must they be computer generated? Is it just that much easier to animate them?
It must be.
Is that why we do that? Because we always do it. Again, it's my biggest complaint visually and Under the Red Hood. It takes me so out there.
While driving, Bruce Wayne looks a lot like Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, which lends
yes!
to the
interesting.
Lends to the anime thing you said earlier.
And now that you say that, reminds me a little bit of what is that anime we started watching that was done by Big O by the Batman animated series people.
Yep.
We need to get back to that. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I was really enjoying that.
Do you feel like the popularity of the Court of the Owls like immediately evaporated? Like after like because for a while like you saw people with the masks and like it was a whole big thing. I feel like I didn't even know.
I think. Well, thanks for your honesty.
Uno.
I think part of
I would have
that
won.
is because they haven't stayed. I did that last night, and then I won. I feel like part of that is because they haven't stayed in the consciousness in anything outside of comics. And I mean, like, we haven't continued doing them in comics either, really, but, like, they've showed up in a couple of things, but we haven't done, like, a movie with them. You know, like, Bane was never a big deal until Dark Knight Rises, outside of the comic community. Like, I think some people liked Bane.
Most people thought Bane was just a big dumb guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like Killer Croc, who also doesn't start as a big dumb guy.
But, I mean, like, I'm gonna call Red. Yes!
Uno. Well, I also think part of the problem
now, this is good. I like this war of the court versus Batman in that, like, they're blaming him for all of Gotham's problems because of, like, lunatics he draws and stuff. That's good. But that's the eternal question I always enjoy with Batman. Is if what he's doing is worth it because he might solve more problems or cause more problems than he solves. But the argument is you have to take that risk because doing the right thing is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, something like the Gotham Underworld and the Lunatics is gonna fight back against that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the argument, if you're righteous, I guess the argument is it's a sign that you're doing the right thing because there is backlash.
Mm-hmm.
Uno, which I never thought I would say.
Wow.
Bams.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
4-0, sir. Wow, that should
counting cards or something.
That should not have happened. If I counted cards, how would that help this game?
Well, part of the other thing I think that made the court fall off is
yeah.
It felt like Snyder was setting up a run, and like we were going to do this whole big thing with the Court of the Owls. They come back in Endgame, and it's like, oh my God, you never thought Batman would join the Court of the Owls. I'm like, it's 3 years later, dude. I forgot.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to that point, but can you think of anything else in comics that hasn't been adapted much in outside material that stayed popular for a really long period of time.
I mean, the multicolored lanterns stuck around for years.
Yeah, but we kept using them. I mean, like, that was Green Lantern status quo, and there was this for a long time. Like, we kept doing it, and we're still doing it now. Like Green Lantern had this really interesting kind of subculture that has sort of evaporated, I think.
Yeah.
But there was a whole subset of Green Lantern fans in YouTube. I think YouTube. I think Green Lantern brought people to comics during that period because Blackest Night was huge. So and
so was not as huge, but Sinestro Corps War was pretty big too.
Yeah,
I think came in with that.
But I think,
or at least came in the Green Lantern.
So you're right about that one, but I think it's because we kept it in the consciousness because we kept using it. And we made more of an event out of it. We tried to make a big event out of Court of the Owls, but they were just so smart about how they sold Blackest Night. A lot of that was marketing and merchandising. The plastic ring thing in the comic shops was really smart.
It was great.
That was a stroke of genius. But that is a good example, and I guess Doomsday is kind of that way. But again, we kind of kept him in the consciousness.
I don't know. He drops out for a couple of years until you get to Hunter Prey.
No, I know, but we're talking popularity. Nobody forgot about Doomsday.
Yeah, no.
But that's just because they made such an event out of Superman dying. Like, I guess I'm making the argument that a lot of it has to do with business.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've adapted the Court a couple of times. If we ever do it in a movie, they'll stay big. Or they're more likely to stay big, especially if people really like it and it's handled. If people would have to like it and it has to be handled.
But, like, people were losing their mind. Court of the Owls is the greatest Batman story ever told, kind of losing their mind. And it went away like that.
That's true, but that kind of thing can be fickle sometimes, too.
That's true.
The next thing comes along.
Well, and it was every Snyder arc.
And I was going to say...
Every Snyder arc was the best Batman story ever
Some of that
written.
is a testament either to Snyder's work or just his popularity right then, where maybe he made people forget about his own thing on accident because of whatever the next thing is he was doing.
At least until Endgame? Endgame is the one that I did not hear people talk about nearly as much as...
I thought so.
Oh, okay. I felt like somewhere in the middle of Zero Year, a lot of people kind of dropped off.
But not his last arc.
No, his last arc nobody talked about.
Nobody,
and people act like
nobody was talking about
well, we don't talk about that one. We forget that one. No one likes that one.
Because there was so much backlash from the beginning about Rabbitbot.
Yep. And I was liking that arc up until maybe the halfway point.
I thought the Bruce Wayne stuff was especially well handled and better handled than I could have possibly imagined.
And then the resolution.
Because I didn't want to like the amnesia thing, or what was essentially an amnesia thing, and I kind of did, except I knew it wouldn't last long enough. That should have been how we did a Death of Batman story. I know we'd already done one, kind of, with Return of Bruce Wayne, but and the stuff pre-Return of Bruce Wayne, but if you had it to do over again, and I like a lot of things about what Morrison was doing with that, but what I mean is doing a pseudo-death where you're not really killing him, but you're taking him off the map. Doing a Bruce Wayne that loses his Batman-ness and has to just be Bruce Wayne.
No, it's a fascinating idea.
For 3 years would have been really interesting, and I wish we'd done that. Wouldn't it be cool to have a book just called Bruce Wayne, and you have somebody else in the Batsuit?
Yeah.
And you just, what is Bruce Wayne doing while he's not Batman, and while he can't be Batman, and the whole thing with brain chemistry and that and everything. I actually loved that.
I did too. No. Immediately I was like, this is fascinating. It's what does Bruce Wayne think of Batman? A Bruce Wayne that's not connected to Batman, what does he think about all of that? What would he do if he didn't have all that?
Yeah, where he had some perspective.
Yeah.
And he looks back on it, and he's like, yeah, that's not what I would do, except that's what you did. But you don't remember it, and then it's that nature-nurture question, and does it still count as him? Was he really the one who did all that? Because he's a different person now?
There's a lot of fascinating ideas. The mistake was, and maybe this is because we ended New 52 and started Rebirth, because that ends with 50, but when they started, they sold it like this is the new Batman status quo for a while. They were talking about Bloom like Gordon's first villain.
And it was a year-long arc, but it felt like it should have been a lot longer. Or was it 12?
I think it's 11.
Okay.
There's a whole thing with Snyder in 11.
Interesting.
His Black Mirrors is 11. Court of Owls is 11.
Draw 3. Red.
Death of the Family is 5, and Endgame is 6, which gets you to 11. 0 Year is 11, so I'm pretty sure that it's 11. I don't know what Snyder's thing with 11 is, but
I remembered more of this movie being Batman actually going up against Robin.
got to. Yeah, me too.
I'm not even complaining, really. I'm just saying that like I'm remembering this differently. But I still stand by. I know we've been talking about other things. I still stand by this movie is instantly more engaging than the last one, and a lot of it is just because of presentation. Like, they clearly are more interested in this material than they were the last material.
I don't know how much to
of it,
say this was incrementally better. Like, this is considerably
I think
better.
It's a marked improvement. And I don't know how much of it is just, I also am more interested in this material, and the fact that it's more Batman-centered. I think this is actually doing a pretty good job of being a dual protagonist story.
Mm-hmm.
And that, you know, Bruce and Damian are both front and center. I just think splitting them up, somehow, they're better at that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, it's a totally different writer.
And this is still not great.
It's a totally different writer.
But
Draw 2.
Son of a...
No, it's no, it's not.
Draw 2.
And I don't know if... And again, I don't know if Court of the Owls was the right thing to do next. I mean, it's a little weird that you're doing the Morrison thing, and then you're doing the Snyder thing, but you're also doing the Morrison thing.
Well, but they're also trying to combine the Batman vs. Robin stuff from Morrison's run into this, too.
Oh, yeah. But I'm also making
Which was
the
way
argument
more interesting because it was programmed into him, like it was a genetic question.
But I'm also making the argument that I'm more engaged... Oh, okay.
And it was like nature versus nurture with him.
I'm also making the argument that I'm more engaged because they care more about this material, so I can't say I wish they hadn't done Court of the Owls.
Yeah.
Because they clearly wanted to do this.
And this is...
More than just because it's popular.
This is how you know it's written by J.M.T. Mateus. J.M.T. Mateus
Because he has
famously...
an abusive father.
It's his go-to backstory for every villain.
What else have I seen from him that does that? Because I know there's something I've read from him that does that.
He adds it to Dr. Octopus.
Skip you,
I think
reverse you, and
I think Vermin has it in a lot.
Red.
Draw 4 blue.
Oh. Bad move, Neil.
I think Vermin has it in Craven's Last Hunt. I want to say that's the thing I know. I don't like these Batman ears. They're like swooped back.
Yeah.
I noticed at some point during the last movie I meant to comment draw 2.
Yeah, I mean, it is the same character designs, but I think they're
It's just
animated a little bit better. And I really don't think that's just because I'm liking the story material better. I think visually this is a better piece.
No, I agree. Looking at them next to each other like we've just done. And he's got the lines on now. He's got the lines.
Now I do buy. I don't know how much of that is just lighting, where you couldn't see it last movie, but
yeah, I'm interested to see
if
we get him more in the light.
Two-Face is the draw to.
Yeah, yeah. You draw 3 yellow.
So, I do think Damian wanting to join the Court of the Owls is a thing that works fine. I think that makes enough sense, right? Like they're not that far removed from the society that raised him.
Because they're like the argument is we are doing what your dad does, but doing it more in your style and potentially better.
And we're also doing...
And we're telling you that we are the good guys.
And we're also doing what your mom did.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Because we're trying to solve everyone's problems behind the scenes, and we'll go as far as you need to go, and ends justify the means, and all of that.
Part of the issue is...
If you would join the League of Assassins, why wouldn't you join the Court of the Owls? That's a question. And now, I'm not saying they're exactly the same thing, and they're different because... they actually live within the society while they're pretending like they don't. League of Assassins is completely set apart, which makes them, on paper, more pure. Mm-hmm. What'd you call them?
What did I call them? Yellow.
Yellow, okay.
Alright,
good.
And I'm going to skip you. Part of the problem I think is also that this was in fact the first appearance of the Court of the Owls. It's like, oh, and you're wasting it doing it this Damien stuff.
Yeah.
Like it works fine for Damien, but what a waste of the Court of the Owls.
You're right. It's too muddled. They end up being a plot device for this other character thing, where you'd rather just see Batman go up against the Court.
Yeah,
because it's not enough about. Okay, it is a little bit about obviously the difference in ideologies, but more so far with Robin to Batman than really the Court. I mean, like, yeah, they do represent his opposite to some degree.
Well, but there's your Batman versus Robin, but also why?
And that action was good.
Like you want this to be a horror piece, and I don't understand why this. Even in this continuity, following Son of Batman, it necessitates it has to be a Damien story.
Green.
Leave Damien in the background, and
actually tell a Batman story.
Yeah,
because you haven't done that yet in this continuity. I think that's part of the problem with this whole continuity thing is you've not told a Batman story yet. It's almost like, and again, I know it's DeMatteis, she had a different writer last time, but it feels like the people making these are interested in Batman's world before they're interested in Batman, and all the thematic and character stuff for Batman is maybe obligatory or maybe just inherent in the world before it's even really about him and that stuff.
It plays like...
Which goal?
No, it was you.
Or was that me? Green.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, and I didn't have a green, so I had to draw.
Oh, I see, okay.
It plays like...
Skip you.
They exist in a continuity that they think is completely played out. They're like, what else can we do with Batman?
That's right, yeah. Almost like they're looking at it canonical with comics that are going on, which is, again, weird because 52 was a pseudo-reboot.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, like, it makes... Robin's character motivation with the Court of Owls makes enough sense, but it ends up being a counterintuitive thing and looks kind of muddled because you want to see... You want to see Batman go up against the Court before you want to see him go up against Robin. Like it's just a mixture of two stories where, like, one or the other.
And this all kills the Court of the Owls. This getting to know the Talon thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Court of the Owls is completely in the background, mysterious. You don't know anything about them. Why? We should never cut to the Court of Owls' perspective, which we've already done in this film multiple times.
No, you want to keep their identity secret. They need to be a complete blank.
You, the audience, should be questioning what they want, what they're doing, all of that.
Yeah.
Does Uno usually have 0? Is that weird to you as well?
What's that?
I said, does Uno usually have 0? Okay.
Uh-huh. Again, that's because when you're playing Uno for score, when you're actually playing it right, your zeros are nice to have because if you get stuck with them, they don't cost anything.
Oh, I see. This is, I believe, how they do the big thing, the labyrinth. The
labyrinth thing.
Yep.
No, you're right. We've definitely seen this this model for Alfred before. And I'm not just talking about last movie. Yeah, and see, then we're taking a scene from the comics that is cool when Batman's first dealing with them.
Yeah, Batman's already been here and talked to them.
Yeah.
As Bruce Wayne, but he's already been here and talked to them.
Because I'm Batman. Uno.
Here comes how they're doing
Batman,
the whole thing.
Uno. Oh yeah, he gets the gas. Which is hilarious because it makes it look like he's wearing 3D glasses.
Yep.
Bams.
I also had another Riddler.
Riddle me this, who just won with the Riddler? 5-0.
It was kind of scarecrowy.
See, this movie has not enough been about Batman's perception of reality.
Mm-hmm.
It really is too much of a fusion of two unrelated stories, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where they're trying to make a case for merging them, and in some places it's an okay case.
Mm-hmm.
But I just find myself desperate for two movies.
Remember when that happened in the comic? It was really dramatic.
I remember that.
And he didn't drink the water. Right? Did he not? He didn't drink the water stuff, right?
I forget about that. What's the thing with the water?
Well, that's what makes him hallucinate.
Well, they put him on a psychotropic drug.
Okay.
It wasn't water. They did it differently.
No, here's the water.
Oh, I see. Okay. But he's already hallucinating when he gets here.
Yeah. I've been drunk so many times.
I drink this stuff with my oatmeal.
I've been cutting Joker Venom and Fear Toxin into my breakfast for years just to build up an immunity.
Oh, this is what I keep trying to remember that I wanted to mention. In the comics, there's all this really interesting symbolism with bats versus owls and predator and prey, and none of that is here.
He's kind of got
Nightmare
gaslight.
Batman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Nightmare Batman.
No, he is kind of Nightmare Batman. No, that's a better fit.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, but I totally thought we were going to say the same thing.
I was in Gotham by Gaslight, but no, Nightmare Batman works too.
Yeah, that's way more.
Yeah, he's like exactly Nightmare Batman. That's weird.
Yeah, that looks on purpose to me too.
Well, it's from something, right?
Yeah, I never can remember where that's from. And it's become like one of the most popular suits to do just because it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how many of us didn't like BVS. Everybody likes that suit.
Yep.
That's one of the things, of course, and we'll talk about this later, but that's one of the things that's frustrating about BVS is all the visuals that are really cool.
I want to say it's an Elseworld story. Yeah, I want to say it's a Justice League Elseworld story.
You want me to look it up?
I don't even know how you would look that up. Well, I guess you could just look up where this BVS costume
I
come
can
from.
work my magic.
Sure. I want to say it's like a pulpy or like a spy something, and there's like multiple, like it's like a series of Elseworlds that we did a couple sequels to, like we did with the vampire one or with the Dracula one. Also, this is another one where like we just can't let go of his parents, and like we have nothing else to say or explore with Bruce Wayne but his parents' death.
Yeah, we keep having to retroactively see, but I'm hesitant to say that because I can't remember
if we do it in the comics.
If Snyder added to that in the comics and made the court responsible for his parents' murder. I do not remember that being there. But I'm sorry, folks, it's been too long.
That was said like it was a reveal, but we saw the first film, which is called Son of Batman. Yeah, the Talons all have that thing in their tooth because they're resurrected bodies. Where like they've got like the thing that.
Yeah.
And he punches Dick Grayson, punches his tooth out.
Well, that's why they look like zombies.
Right, but how does Damien factor into all this? I mean, I'm not paying the closest attention, but.
Well, I assume it's because. I assume they want him because they want to bring down Batman. I don't know. We're not actually paying attention to this movie.
I'm paying a little bit.
No, we were paying a little bit of attention. I am not immediately finding this.
I think James David Hayes may have also made.
I thought I could find this faster than I'm finding it.
Norman an abusive father to Norman's son.
Oh yeah, sure.
I can't think what it is, but I think he made him an abusive father.
Oh, okay.
I think before that, like he was just kind of like negligent. I think
you're talking about Harry Osborn.
Harry Osborn. I think he might have made him an abusive father. It's a thing that he does. He thinks it's the best way to explain villainy.
I am not finding that costume, but I know it was in something.
I'm also going to look. I'm going to go through a different route, I think, than what you're doing.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm spending too much time not looking at this.
Because I want to say it's Justice League the something.
Rapture. Botanical Gardens. Justice League the Whiplash.
I don't think it's Whiplash.
Justice League, the Farfanugan.
Okay, so it's not Justice League, it's Justice Society. It's called the Liberty Files.
Oh, you found it.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm pretty sure that I'm right.
I was so close with Liberty Files. I did Liberty Files with Farfanugan. I was so close. That was unintentionally hilarious. Did you see the Court of the Owls lady?
No.
Who got knifed in the back and she just goes, ah!
He's doing a really good job of not... Oh, okay. I was going to have not killing them, just cutting the masks off.
So it's weird how they keep cutting the mask off and
that's
not
Liberty
showing it
Files
to us.
Batman.
Oh, yeah. But he's all bulky like Dark Knight Returns.
I don't know if that's just that figure style or...
No, it's not. All of them look like that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, in the comic he looks like that.
Well, I mean, they were going Dark Knight Returns with BVS, so...
Yeah. Sure, I just think it's interesting that he was bulky like... So, I mean, like, it looks a little like that, but it's not exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's what they looked at. I have been and always will be
it's
your
just weird,
friend.
because that's kind of like the costume. But, like, this is dead on, and so maybe there's an even more closer costume.
Or maybe they saw advertising for BVS and...
Is this 2015?
Yeah.
When was BVS? 2016?
Year after. Did we have images of it that early?
Based on what I've seen...
Or maybe someone in-house at Warner Brothers got to see it early?
Well, what I was about to say, based on what I've seen of Warner Bros., I don't think there's any in-house communication. I don't think there's any way they knew this before the movie came out.
Well, it's possible that people in-house got to look at things they were working on, though.
Yeah, maybe.
That doesn't necessarily have anything to do with communication and having any sense of synergy or anything. It could just be you're privileged if you work there. You get to see certain things early.
You might be right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you might be right.
It still is one company, you know. It's possible. It is weird that it's so close, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's strange to imagine that's a coincidence so close to that movie coming out.
Yeah.
Also, remember that movie was put on hold.
Like
It was delayed. Yeah. So that's probably a thing they shot.
Was it for 3D
earlier.
conversion or something like that? Or was it just for reshoots?
I thought it was reshoots, but I don't remember.
Okay. He looks bad. Is that just me? Like, he looks really under-detailed for every other face in this.
That's interesting. I thought you were just going to say his hair looks like he doesn't belong in this.
No, just...
He looks like a Kingdom Hearts
character. He looks under-animated or something. Those hands look good, though.
Those are some...
So those are all the dead...
Those
are all the dead towns that we're bringing back to life.
Right.
I don't know why we would get Damien. Unless he wasn't going to be a Talon.
Well, I'm assuming he wasn't going to be one of the undead Talons.
Because that guy's also not an undead Talon.
Maybe they just wanted him for his training. Maybe it was better explained, and we just missed it. So, here's why this Batman voice is not great.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot begin without laughing your head off to imagine him saying, I'm Batman.
Yeah. Also, I don't think there's enough
goes,
differentiation between his Batman and Bruce Wayne. Like, that was the perfect opportunity for him to be talking in Bruce Wayne.
It's
put the mask on,
subtler, and
Batman.
I want to like it being subtler. I want to like the fact that he doesn't have to go into a groveling kind of plays, where it's just like a slight, modulation down.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I don't think his voice fits for Batman in the first place. The closest thing it's to, but it's not nearly as good as this. The thing it's closest to is maybe the '50s Batman in Justice League. What is that? I can't think of it. New Frontier.
Oh yes. Maybe.
Where it's a little bit of a higher pitched Batman.
Mm-hmm.
He's got this kind of understated deadpan, kind of movie serial thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the closest thing it sounds like to me. But I loved him.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess I make that
children.
point to say that I don't think every Batman has to sound the same. I don't think there's one type. That was a strange choice. That push-in was really weird.
Well,
right, he's kicking all these guys, and we're zooming in to the back of his cape.
I think I know what was supposed to be. where like it was gonna be like we follow him through the guys, but it's like they forgot about that halfway through the shot. It's like we're gonna watch him and we're gonna like follow him punch through all these guys.
Yeah,
like,
it was gonna be a tracking shot, but we never did that. That was I liked it. That's funny. It's really funny when you have two completely different reactions to the same thing at once. I actually really liked that. Where he's just whacking those guys.
It feels out of tone with the rest of like that. Looks like it's an intended joke.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Because
I thought that was just a move. I just thought it was a cool move. I don't know. That's really funny. I really like that. I thought that was a real injustice kind of move. I mean, knick-knack, patty-whack, give a dog a bone!
Is that how Nightwing fights?
Yes! And now I want him to start saying that. That's hilarious.
Oh, we lost him.
You put your right hand in, you take your right hand out. Oh, you made it so easy.
Without his hood on, he looks like he could hang out with like Xena Hercules.
That's hilarious.
Or maybe fight Mulan.
Something characters in these are doing way too much of is raised eyebrows. Have you noticed that?
I have not.
I'm the sinister, shifty-eyed guy. I'm Batman. Question mark. Apparently.
We also kind of have the same problem here, I guess, that I have with the actual Core of the Owl story, where like it's all about Talon, and by the end of that, it's all about Owlman. Like I don't like that.
Yeah.
What's scary is that it's a faceless group of people.
Yeah. It's sort of like the Borg Queen. You just don't want it to ever have that.
Yeah.
And they have a leader, but you don't want to know who it is. It's not the same thing as the Borg, where they shouldn't be anything like a collective consciousness, but they need to remain kind of faceless.
I feel like in the comics when they're introduced, it seems like there is not a leader.
And then
he slowly picks them off until there's only the Owlman guy, and I don't like that.
I guess if you did multiple stories, you could eventually have a big reveal where it's like either this guy was the leader, or one of the big inner circle was this person. I'm not saying you can never tell us who's involved.
No. And you can have fun revealing that different characters from the Batman were part of the court or something like that, or are part of the court or something like that.
Yeah, and I was surprised we never introduced.
I'm convinced.
Or did we? I forget. It would have been. It would have been cool to introduce someone that you never realize and you're not suspicious of is part of the court, especially if you did like a Court of the Owl story and you thought they were taken down, but then they were still in the background, and then you introduce. I don't know. Maybe this sounds like the obvious thing to do, but I'm surprised we didn't do it. You introduce like a love interest or a best friend, or I think it would have been cool. To do a new Robin like that, or something like that.
That would be cool.
You know?
This is very Dark Knight,
evil,
right?
Like Evil Robin or
this
evil...
the soundtrack?
Yes. No, this is pretty generic.
Okay.
No, I'm not with you there.
Well, that bit not so much, but like the
was there a bit before that?
Well, it's just the repetitive like
the repetitive.
I can see them thinking Dark Knight while making it.
Yeah, well, sure, yeah. Well, and the Rises score particularly would go really, something like that would go really well with the Court of the Owls. All that percussive stuff. And especially that creepy string stuff.
Oh, he's all
ding 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 ding. Oh, he's all bandaged.
What aid do the bandages have over the costume?
See, look at him in that suit. I told you he was a Kingdom Hearts character. He looks like a Kingdom Hearts character.
That's a cool bat suit. All of these bat suits in the case are better than the one he's using right now.
Take any of them. Just get in
any of them.
Any of them. The 1939 looks really good. We're talking about Batman suits like they're wine.
I'm resigned to the fact that I will never get a live action blue cowled Batman.
I know.
Why can't I have a serious blue cowled Batman in the animation? So this is a little off topic, but totally on topic. So when I was a kid, there was this.
I didn't need that.
Oh, there's the Batmech. This scene is so huge in the comic, and that line is great, and you don't feel it at all in this movie.
Yeah. Now, does he say the same thing?
I'm pretty
sure. And the gun is there too. The Sons of. Is that in the comics too? I don't remember that. Anyway, I think Alfred shooting them with a gun is though.
Yeah, and we got a Snyder Batmech. Yep. First appearance of Snyder Batmech.
Woo! Woot! Oh, we got to do one more Uno game before we finish.
Would have been awesome.
Trounce you another time
if that was the only time Snyder
happens.
ever did a Batmech.
I mean, I don't want to get cocky or anything, but draw 3 and yellow.
But so anyways, off topic, but totally on topic. When I was a kid, there was this.
When you were a kid, you heard about this Court of Owls when you went investigating them. Skip you 5.
When I was a poor young lad, draw 2.
When I was a young warthog.
Yes. When my library had a book that I think just said like heroes. And I know it had a bunch of superhero stuff, but I think it also had like maybe like Indiana Jones stuff like that. And there was an older kid, and they had this.
Why did we zoom into his green eye? All right.
That
car looks cooler than the one we had last
That's true.
movie.
That's true. Too bad we didn't drive around in it.
Yeah, we should have driven around in it.
I don't know, and the red works way better that way.
Yeah, well, it's subtle. It's just in the front. Oh, and you know what? It's got a little bit of like the pattern on the front of the car from the animated series car without being elongated. Anyway, I'm sorry, you're talking.
So I don't know what this book is or like where it came from or anything like that. I've never seen this book again, but
Uno.
Jesus.
And suddenly he's Frank Miller Batman.
But so this book had all this stuff. I know it had like a thing in the back about like the Incredible Hulk, and it was the TV show Incredible Hulk, and
yeah,
and that's the. Did you play?
Yeah.
Okay.
I drew.
Oh, okay.
I don't have Uno.
Well, that's good.
I drew.
That's good. I'm glad you don't have Uno.
I'm trying to enjoy your story. So you had this book. It was called Heroes.
Yeah.
It had Incredible Hulk in it. I've been
Yeah.
paying so much attention.
Okay, and so there's a double page that I think has Batman and Superman, and as I recall, it's real people in costumes. And it's a full-blown, like, blue-cowled Batman. And it looked really cool.
He has jelly coming at him.
I remember it looking really cool.
Okay.
And there was an older kid.
Oh.
Because I'm like 5 or 6. There's an older kid who tells me that this Batman
Just don't look up. Just stop looking up. Ow! Ow!
That this blue-cowled Batman was in a
Why do you have to tell us the story during the climax? Sorry.
Because it's a boring climax.
Ow! I'm listening.
But this like blue Batman is actually from a live-action TV show that was so violent they took it off television. And, like you couldn't see it, and I believe it's not true. I've never found evidence that there is a live-action Batman show that was so violent they canceled it.
That was just never. It wasn't aired.
Not to my knowledge.
Not to my knowledge.
But I don't want to doubt that older kid. He's a little bit older than me, and I think
that's the best. I think. Is it your go? Did you draw something?
I don't.
You filthy ingrate. I mean, really. I know you're from the secret society and all, but who talks like that?
Everything he did. It's all for you, Damien.
Uno. I mean Uno. And bams. Catwoman on top of Catwoman. 6.
Wow. That went right through straight through your neck. No blood or nothing.
And now I'm gonna learn to handle things more like Batman and have like mercy on people and stuff by murdering my opponent.
Is it?
That was self-defense, whatever.
Well, no, he pulled it into himself.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I missed that. Sorry.
Does it seem like...
Oh, okay. Because otherwise that would be a weird ending for this, right?
It feels like we're very picky, choosy about where there's blood. Because like sometimes it feels gratuitous, but like that side went through his neck and there was no blood.
Yeah. Well, is he like superhuman or something? But didn't he have some blood earlier?
He was bleeding.
He was bleeding a lot? Yeah.
When we cut to him on the ground, there was blood coming out of his mouth. But like when it went through his neck, nothing. Like maybe that was too violent.
I kind of like that. Not the delivery necessarily, but I kind of like that idea of like I can't find my own identity because there's all these expectations of all these really extreme personalities. Everyone's telling me what I have to be.
Why can't it just be him?
when you put a lot of like physical training and like indoctrination and stuff on top of just like basic child raising, and then you have that like with multiple people trying to raise you, that messes kids up, obviously.
Yeah.
That's like, and I don't know, this is not an intentional metaphor, but I think you could use it as an intentional metaphor. Kids who are like, you know, in broken homes or divorced families, that go like back and forth between homes, and or even like foster kids and stuff, but where they have they're with multiple different parents of like multiple religions that are all telling them to look at the world different ways, or like a religious home and a completely non-religious home, that kind of thing. You could use that as a metaphor for that.
Yeah.
Oh, Star Labs, so he's going to have to go to Central City then, huh?
Or Metropolis.
Right? No, I know.
Think it's traditionally located.
I know. That was me making fun of a thing we were talking about the other day.
But they don't know that.
I know. I was about to explain it. But
This Batman...
that's good. That's good, too.
This Batman
He's not a 10-year-old boy. He just looks like one. I like that. But, like, he is and he's not, though, you know?
This Batman is at least consistent with most Batmans that we've pointed out many times. Bruce Wayne, turtleneck guy.
Yes.
Maybe the last turtleneck guy on Earth.
This is what Batman sounds like.
You have to have a little faith.
He's not Roz from Monsters Incorporated. You forgot to fill out your paperwork! Ah ha ha! Everyone has green eyes in this.
You know what's great about... Well, I mean, if they're all related.
No. Well, okay, I said everyone. I don't think Batman does, but, like, the Talon guy had green eyes, and Damian has green eyes, and that's weird, because green's not, like, a real popular eye color. It's just too coincidental, Eric. I can't. It breaks the whole movie. Like I can't have that.
You can't swallow it.
Can't swallow that.
What's great about Monsters Inc. is when you go back through and you watch it and you pay really close attention. There's nothing that sets up the Roz reveal at the end of that movie.
No, there's not at all. it's hilarious. No, it's true. There's yeah. You're like, oh, of course, all along. Nope.
There are no tells.
So, I would make the argument that if you never read...
Oh, look at that! Look, they got the it's smeared all over the bottom.
It just makes my eyes all crazy. I would make the
Al
argument...
Yankovic was the doll maker.
Oh, that's right. I knew that at one time. I forgot.
I think I also knew that one time. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
That's okay. I'm just waiting for you. Are you good?
I'm good.
I'm just kidding.
I thought something else pops up in the credits.
I'm just kidding. All right. So, I was anyway.
I close my eyes. I keep my eyes closed.
I close my eyes. I was gonna mention. Okay, I would make the argument that if you are unfamiliar with recent comics in general, and like if you read none of the Morrison stuff, you don't have any preconceptions about Damian and you don't know the stories, and you haven't read Court of the Owls, this is okay.
Sure. The problem,
I think a lot of what irritates us in this is just
they could have done this better.
How much more interesting it could be based on what we saw before. Once again, as I always say, not that it had to be exactly what we had in the comics, and blending those things, it couldn't be. You're already starting from a place of, like, premise-wise, you're already starting from a place of we're going a different way with this. But it's But I don't know. I think it probably works better if you're not familiar with any of this stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, you do have to sit through Son of Batman to watch this, because I don't think you can watch this without Son of Batman.
That's true.
But
you might have that Spawn thing where you just assume like it all makes sense and and there's better setup.
But honestly,
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I don't know that that's really the problem with these, that you can't follow them or they're confusing or there's like giant plot holes or anything. Like I guess you have to like
just mediocre execution.
The basic level of standards. I guess you can at least give it. I know what's happening. I'm not confused. It's not built on a huge series of conveniences, really. I guess that's good.
But honestly,
but things aren't good based on what they're not. You know.
Just go read Court of the Owls.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like Morrison stuff's real dense and it's real hard to get into, and like I can totally understand like Son of Batman. Sorry, like you're not gonna just go read Batman Son. Like you're not gonna get what that movie could have been just reading that. You can just go read Court of the Owls.
You can, yeah. Well, it helps that was his first arc.
God, I wish they would put out
his first arc in 52, I should say.
Yeah. I wish they would put out a collection of the Court of the Owls stuff correctly.
Yeah.
Because every collection, it is split up between Court of the Owls and the second half of that arc, which is Night of the Owls, but just his stuff. Like, volumes 1 and 2 of his run are Court of the Owls and the Night of the Owls, and none of the tie-in stuff. It's just, they split the run, because it's 11 issues. They didn't want to put 11 issues out. I guess they didn't want to wait that long, because the book was so hot. They wanted to put out the trade faster. I understand that, but they never put out an actual 1-volume story or trade of that 11 issues. It's ridiculous.
I guess what could be cool about this for people that don't know Court of the Owls is it could get them to go read it, and I think it did some people, you know.
Maybe.
And it's like that's nice because like they do have an instantly evocative design, most certainly.
Yes.
And so.
And they don't look terrible here.
And a cool concept, regardless of how well it's executed. And
Mm-hmm.
what I mean is, like, you might look at this and be like, okay, that was okay, but like now I'm interested in source material, so you go seek out everything Court of the Owls, and you find out there's one big story. So like I guess it's cool for that. Going the other way, though, it's disappointing if you read Court of the Owls and you want to see that adapted action-wise or story-wise, where it's like, the action's better than the last movie, but I'm not looking at that going, oh cool, I finally got to see Court of the Owls rendered. I finally got to see like how the talons move. Like, it's okay, but...
Yeah. Which I think is what we said about when we first reviewed it.
It's better than Gotham Court of the Owls.
It's mediocre.
But, like, you have to give it that. It's
Yeah.
better than Gotham Court of the Owls.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, folks. We sure appreciate it. We do have...
But remember, Gotham Court of the Owls was better than Gotham Saint Dumas, Order of Saint Dumas.
Yeah, but that's not hard. That was baffling. Boosh! Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, folks. We do have one more of these to do after we do the trilogy of Batman Unlimited films. Yeah, that's right. The next thing we're doing, and we are going to make them 3 videos. I had half a mind to just make it one day.
I assume it will be a tight trilogy with
a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah, a real strong structure. We'll hit our lowest point at the end of the second film.
They haven't made another one. I'm assuming those either didn't sell well or they're just not doing that line of figures anymore. I haven't seen the Batman Unlimited figures in a long time, so I assume that's just a line we're not doing anymore. And they might have actually so that was based on a line of real kiddish-looking action figures that are kind of like
they were the bigger, bulkier ones.
They're bulky. They're like a throwback to all those '90s figures that were that was like something Batman. We got Ice Climber Batman and like Soda Jerk Batman, and you put something in front of Batman. Measles Doctor Batman, but anyway,
Urban Camo Batman.
Yeah, sure. That was probably a real one.
If it was red and black camo, I don't know if you know that. Red and black camo is urban camo.
Right.
Which is the funniest thing. Where are you hiding in red and black in the city?
In front of one of those like blinking airplane lights. That's where you're right in front of one of those. Real up in the sky. It's also got climbing equipment that comes with that figure as an accessory. Anyway, but I think what probably happened, Eric, is they stopped focusing on that, and then they started focusing on other toy lines. This has been a real popular. Well, I mean, for movies, because now it's superhero girls. I think they probably had. Although I don't know if that's the same company as far as the action figures go, so I might just be talking out of my face right now. I don't know, but anyway.
That is where you talk out.
That's true. That's where you talk out. I'm gonna stop talking. We're gonna talk about the first of those tomorrow. We have never seen them. So it's just going to be us watching and commenting on it for the first time. And
so there might be a little bit of dead air. We recommend you go get them.
Hopefully not too much, but that's one that we're really gonna plead you to please watch with us if you can or want to get your hands on them, because I assume most people aren't going to have those. But we said we'd do them all. So regardless of the fact that I imagined that a real small percentage, even of our audience, is going to already own one, much less all 3 of those. Go get your hands on them. They're not super expensive right now. I think it's pretty easy to get your hands on those, and I don't think any of them are streaming anywhere. But anyway, thanks again for watching. We will see you again tomorrow or Monday, whenever this falls.
What's the first one called?
It is
it
Monster Mayhem. Animal Instincts is the first one. It's
Okay,
Animal
'cause then
Instincts, and then it's Monster Mayhem, and then it's Mechs versus Mutants.
Cool.
Yep. So they sound real Saturday morning cartoon. I'm kind of
Yeah.
actually excited about that. And,
Animal Instincts.
and they have a bunch of DC Universe supporting cast that we haven't really gotten to talk about much through this. So we can at least fill some air going, oh, look, there's Green Arrow. Let's talk about Green Arrow. So that'll be good.
Sure.
Anyway, thanks again for watching, folks. We sure appreciate it. I am Captain Logan, and we'll see you tomorrow.